The American Management Association asked 500 CEOs the question, "What must one do to survive in the 21st century?" The top answer was practice creativity and innovation. Effective leaders find ways to promote creativity and innovation, particularly in the departments where it is most needed. Creativity is the generation of new ideas that are both novel and useful for improving efficiency or effectiveness of an organization. Creativity itself is a process rather than an outcome. It's a journey rather than a destination. Instilling creative values. Leaders can build an environment that encourages creativity and helps the organization be more innovative. Fostering a creative culture and promoting collaboration will spread values for creativity throughout the organization. For creative acts that benefit the organization to occur consistently, the interests and action of everyone should be aligned with the organization's purpose, vision, and goals, and leaders should make a commitment of time, energy, and resources to support creativity. One popular approach is to provide an idea incubator. An idea incubator provides a safe harbor where ideas from people throughout the organization can be developed without interference from company, bureaucracy, or politics. To build the culture that encourages cultural entrepreneurship, leaders encourage the creative spirit of all employees by promoting cultural values of curiosity, openness, exploration, and informed risk-taking. One important outcome of entrepreneurship is to facilitate idea champions. Idea champions are people who passionately believe in an idea and fight to overcome the natural resistance to convince others of its value. Change does not happen by itself. Personal energy and effort are needed to successfully promote a new idea. A creative culture is an open culture that encourages people to look everywhere for new ideas. Leaders promote openness by rotating people into different jobs, allowing them time off to participate in volunteer activities, and giving them opportunities to mix with people different from themselves. Although many individuals have creative ideas, creativity soars when people work together. Rather than leaving people stuck in their department silos, smart leaders find ways to get people communicating and collaborating across boundaries. Creative collaboration is one of the most important activities leaders can support for a creative culture. That's one reason companies use cross-functional teams and self-managed teams. Some remodel their physical space so that people from different work areas work side by side on a daily basis. A recent approach to promoting one-on-one collaboration is speedstorming. Speedstorming was inspired by the phenomenon of speed dating. It uses a round-robin format to get people from different areas talking together, generating creative ideas, and identifying areas for potential collaboration. People are divided into pairs, with each person from a different department, and given a specific topic of a goal of generating ideas to pursue collaborative by the end of each 3 to 5 minute round. By the end of the session, the goal is for each participant to have formed ideas for creative collaboration with several others. Many organizations that want to encourage change and innovations strive to hire people who display creative characteristics. Leaders can help individuals be more creative by facilitating brainstorming, promotional lateral thinking, enabling immersion, allowing pauses, and nurturing creative intuition, as illustrated. One common way to encourage creativity is to set up brainstorming sessions focused on a specific problem or topic. Brainstorming uses a face-to-face interactive group to spontaneously suggest a wide range of creative ideas to solve a problem. The keys to effective brainstorming are: no criticism, all ideas are considered valuable, freewheeling is welcome. People should express any idea that comes to mind, no matter how weird or fanciful. Quantity is desired. The goal is to generate as many ideas as possible. Brainstorming has both ardent supporters and intense critics, but it remains the most common way leaders use groups to generate new ideas. Leaders are continually searching for ways to improve the brainstorming process. Another recent approach, called electronic brainstorming or brain writing, brings people together in an interactive group over a computer network. Studies show that electronic brainstorming generates about 40% more ideas than individuals brainstorming alone, and 25% to 200% more ideas than regular brainstorming groups, depending on the group size. Lateral thinking can be defined as a set of systematic techniques used for changing mental concepts and perceptions and generating new ones. With lateral thinking, people move sideways to try different perceptions, different concepts, and different points of entry to gain a novel solution. Lateral thinking makes an unusual mental connection that is concerned with possibilities and what might be. Companies have trained people to use lateral thinking as a way to help the organization meet the demands of rapidly changing global environment. To stimulate lateral thinking, leaders provide people with opportunities to use different parts of their brain and thus to make novel, creative connections. Alex Osborne, the originator of brainstorming, developed many creative techniques. One effective technique that is widely used to stimulate lateral thinking an exercise of considering opposites will stretch the mind in a lateral direction. Physical opposites include back to front, big small, hard soft, slow fast. Biological opposites include young old, sick healthy, male female, tortoise hare. Management opposites would be bureaucratic entrepreneurial or top down bottom up. Business opposites are buy sell, profit loss, and hire fire. Immersion means to go deeply into a single area or topic to spark personal creativity, which has been called thinking inside the box. One approach to immersion is to focus on the internal aspects of a situation or problem. Another way to get people to break out of habitual thinking patterns and ingrained perceptions is to immerse them in new experiences that give them a different perspective on a familiar topic. Allowing pauses activates different parts of the brain. Recent research in creativity suggests that having an aha moment often requires that a person stop trying to solve a problem and allow the mind to wander. Creativity often occurs during a mental pause, a period of mixed tension and relaxation. Exercise is often considered a good way to give the mind the chance to work freely. The creative flash of insight leaders want to awaken is actually the second stage of creativity. The first stage is data gathering. The mind is gathering data constantly, especially when studying background material on a problem. Then the creative insight bubbles up as an intuition from the deeper subconscious. Creative intuition has a broader reach than any analytical process focused solely on the problem at hand. Leaders frequently see innovation, change, and creativity as a way to strengthen the organization, but many people view change only as painful and disruptive. A critical aspect of leading people through change is understanding that resistance to change is natural and that there are legitimate reasons for it. The underlying reason why employees resist change is that it violates the personal compact between workers and the organization. Personal compacts are the reciprocal obligations and commitments that define the relationship between employees and organizations. They include such things as job tasks, performance requirements, evaluation procedures, and compensation packages. The personal compact incorporates elements such as mutual trust and dependence, as well as shared values. When employees perceive that change violates the personal compact, they are likely to resist. Many leaders don't understand why change is so difficult for many people. But for something new to begin, something old has to end. And for most of us, we have a hard time letting go of something we value, even if we want something new. Changing behavior always depends on changing people's emotions about the situation. People have to psychologically and emotionally let go of the old before they can embrace the new. This exhibit illustrates the transition individuals have to go through to make a successful change. To help someone change means first dealing with the emotions associated with endings and losses rather than denying those emotions or trying to talk people out of feeling them. Then, people move to a neutral zone where they've let go of the old but the new hasn't yet gelled into an accepted pattern. Finally, they transition into a new beginning. In organizations, change in job design, technology, or structure may mean that some people will no longer have the same type of power or prestige they once had. In addition, when changes are imposed from outside the individual, many people feel a loss of control over their own lives and circumstances, which provokes a very strong emotional reaction. Sometimes a change conflicts with the goals of some individuals or departments. Change also means that people have to give up their stable routines. Most people have at least some fear of the unknown and more comfortable dealing with the tried and true. Particularly when people don't understand how a change will affect them, they find it more reassuring to stick with what they know, even if it's unpleasant, than to jump into the unknown. At work, employees might worry that a need change in work procedures will mean an end to the camaraderie among their work group, or feel that a new technology might cause them to lose autonomy or status. Most of us think if we're given a clear choice, change or die, we'd change in a hurry. But in fact, scientific studies demonstrate that most people have a hard time changing, even when told that not changing will lead them to an early grave. Changing people's thinking and behavior is possible, and the keys to doing so incorporate 5 elements: a positive emotional attractor, supportive relationships, repetition of new behaviors, participation and involvement, and after-action reviews. To provide a positive emotional attractor. A positive emotional attractor is something that awakens the individual's hopes and dreams about the future, about possibilities of what could be, rather than focusing on trying to fix weaknesses or shortcomings. People help people establish new emotional relationships that provide hope. Make people believe that they have the power to change and inspire people with the expectation that change will happen. Use repetition. People need the opportunity to experiment and practice the new skills and habits over and over until the new pattern of behavior becomes automatic. Involve people early. When people are involved in helping to design the change, they will become more committed to it. Although this approach is time-consuming, it pays off by giving people a sense of control over the change activity. Apply after-action reviews. After-action reviews are quick sessions during which leaders review the outcomes of change activities to see what worked, what didn't, and what can be learned from it. The nature and pace of change in today's environment can be exhilarating, but can also be inconvenient, painful, and downright scary. Savvy leaders can help people navigate the change process and make it successful. This concludes Chapter 15.